Aloha, everybody. Welcome to Astrorisa Moon Forecast and Moon Talk Radio. Today is August 30th, 2023. Today is the full moon in Pisces, and it is also a blue moon. It is a blue moon because this is the second full moon of the month. The first one was August 1st, and now we have another full moon, August the 30th. So, let's talk about this full moon and the moon messages. This full moon is in Pisces. It's 7 degrees. It's in house 11. The sun is 7 degrees in the sign of Virgo. That's in house 5. And the ascendant is in Taurus. It's 1 degrees, about 59 seconds. So we can almost say it's a 2 degree Taurus ascendant. The time for this full moon is 9:36 p.m. Eastern time. So this moon times energy is it's a bit complicated. It's very spiritual. This is a very powerful moon. A blue moon is a moon that occurs every so often. They come around approximately every 3 years or so. The next blue moon is supposed to happen January 2037. That's like more than 3 years. So, but in any case, it doesn't happen all the time. So when old folks used to say, "Oh, I saw so and so every blue moon," that just means that you don't see them for a few years. Okay, so there's nothing really significant about that except that it does happen twice in 1 month. What we can say about that blue moon energy is that we know that full moons expand energy. It expands whatever we're dealing with. And if we look at the moon messages, it expands that. They are exposing times. And of course, as I always say, there's particular moon times that are very exposing. It is the Aquarius moon, but Pisces moon times can be exposing too. They can be a bit petty. It can have that kind of energy to it. So, with that being said, again, let's get into this moon time and the moon time messages. This moon time opens up with Alafia Jife. This is a moon time that is extremely spiritual. This is a very good time to do your full moon fill 'em up. This is a very good moon time to do blessings for yourself, for prosperity, for relationships, for your job. It's that type of moon. Now, Pisces is the archetype of the Orisha Olokun. So, as we say, no one knows what lies at the bottom of the sea. You don't know what you're going to get with a Piscean moon. It's very spiritual, but spirituality doesn't always mean that that thing is good. Spiritual is dealing with the realm of spirit. So, with a spiritual moon such as this, you don't know what you're going to get. What kind, who is bringing what to you? So, if you're very clear, very cognizant that you want to stay at a high vibration during this moon time, then that's what you will attract. Doesn't mean that low vibration folks are not going to be looking for you or wanting to be in your space. But if you stay in a very high vibration during this moon time, then you can thwart their advances. And that's really key. Now, the messages for this moon time is running 28 days. So that's taking us into September 27th. So we're looking at August 30th to September 27th. That's the energy of this message activated with this full moon. Always remember that whatever the messages are, You started recognizing it from 8 to 10 days prior to us reaching the moon time of right now, August 30th. So, about 8 to 10 days prior to August 30th, a lot of you may have noticed that you've been having this aha moment. This aha moment pointed your mind, your consciousness to a place of realization that it's time for you to begin giving back. You feel like you have to give back to either your community or your family in some way. Now, you likely have been making yourself available to everyone else, and you've been paying attention to everybody else's needs, but you haven't been paying that same amount of attention to your own family or your own community. So there was like an imbalance going on, and this moon time is bringing that awareness to you. It's time to bring that into balance. Again, this is a spiritual moon time, so you're connecting to people in a different way, a different vibration, a different level. The spiritual side of this moon time, how it's activating for those who are realizing that, hey, I need to start giving my time and attention to my own. You're also likely to realize that there's an e-ray or a blessing that comes with taking spiritual care or emotional care of your family or your community. And this quote unquote blessing, it didn't either make sense to you before or you haven't noticed that it exists before. But 8 to 10 days prior, leading up to now and moving forward, you just had this aha uh, feeling, moment, understanding, an awakening, a download that there are blessings in taking care of these particular folks, where there's blessings in taking care of everyone, but there's a different type of blessing. It's almost like you taking care of family, giving them utmost spiritual care, emotional care, physical care is is giving you something that you weren't getting when you were just going to work and giving everyone else your attention, or you know or on the phone with people that um, don't have that connection, that tie to you, like your blood family has a tie to you, or your spiritual family has a tie to you. It's just different. And so you're recognizing that. And this is for a lot of people. Not everybody is this message is not for everybody, but there's a lot of you that are understanding what I'm saying. Also, on the spiritual side of this moon time, there is a requirement of devotion that's arriving now. A lot of you may feel like you're having to turn, not having to, but you're wanting to turn over to spirit your commitment. You're releasing a need to control, and you just want to be. Now, this kind of falls into the Pisces moon conjuncting Saturn. Okay, so we're talking about Saturn archetype of Babaluaye, right? There's like this healing that has to happen, but it's just on a different level. So this moon time is in house 11. We know that's dealing with groups of people, and it's very much about group dynamics and at this time group devotion. So our collective consciousness is receiving messages to focus on our commitment and or devotion to others, or to a different group now. We're having to reevaluate who is to get our time and our energy. We have the sun, it's conjuncting Saturn. So that's dealing with contradictions in relationships. And those contradictions are going to come up during these next 28 days. We have the family or group. Again, those that are part of the family, those are part of that group that we are beginning to focus on and give commitment to, they're wanting something. Thing is, what they want may not be what you want, or vice versa. So, this will be a time for compromising. Compromise will be called for. This is a time where some people want to be isolated from others, and then some people will be isolated or feel isolated. So that can bring up all kinds of feelings. So during this 28-day moon time, moon frame, moon cycle, some things will bubble up for some people. They're not getting the attention that they were getting before. We got other people getting attention now. Um, and so, again, feelings can rise to the surface. Now, on a personal level, some people during this time are going to go through experiences where there's a freeing of the self from associations which aren't serving your development. That can happen during this time. During this time, others may realize that some relationships can be salvaged. They and that needs to happen through having a more healthier relationship. And so there's a need for mutual understanding, uh, a need to change how you're communicating, a need to change how you're caring for each other. Those things can come up. But now let's go into the dark side of this moon time. Again, we're talking about relationships. Arisha says, you don't know the good you have until you lose it. That is a theme. This is a full moon. It is an exposing full moon, but very different from the Aquarius moon. This is a Pisces moon, goes deep, goes very deep, deals a lot with feelings and emotions. So, this moon time for some can expose harboring resentment and opposing beliefs or fears that you or maybe even you are harboring. Fears in which you're thinking another will undermine a relationship or a position that you have or they have. Again, we're talking about the dark side of this energy now. So during this moon time, um, on a higher vibration, there's a lot of self reflecting and healing and recognizing who should get my attention, your attention, recognizing how spirit works, how the universe works in regards to you changing up your commitment, increasing your commitment. You're seeing how things are flowing and working. But then in doing that, you have people who, again, will become resentful or can become resentful because you've changed up on them. Okay. So the best way to handle this Pisces moon time is to go within, keep your goals to yourself, bide your time until you see the right opportunity presenting itself. That's if you're trying to make some big changes, because this is a very powerful moon time. Understanding that those who are not operating from a place of camaraderie and helpfulness, they may push to gain an upper hand in their acts of resentment. I mean, it is what it is. So, because it is what it is, we have some power moon times that you want to pay attention to. And these power moon times, whenever they're presented, it's speaking about things that can happen for the good or the bad. It is going to happen the way it's going to happen. However, if you are aware of these times, then you can prepare. You can be in a state of ritual, a state of understanding, deep reflection, meditation, and you can possibly change the outcome of what happens. You know, definitely you can decide to participate in nonsense or not, right? So we have September 8th through the 9th. This is a very personal time for a lot of us. We have to stay true to our principles during this time because there are going to be some tricky experiences, tricky people. So don't allow yourself to be taken off course during this time. This is a time that relationships will play a strong role. So avoid relationships that bring confrontation, avoid people that bring confrontation. Always remember a person that will bring a bone will carry a bone. So that means if you can avoid slander, don't participate in it. Just avoid that. And if people get caught up in slander and they're just minding their business and they get caught up in slander, then know that, all will come out in the end. But again, keep to your principles because many times with slander, people say, well, I don't see them acting like that. So I don't really believe what you're saying. That's really key during this time. September 22nd through the 23rd, you want to protect your assets, you want to protect your work, and you want to protect your goals. So you want to stick to your plans. That's how you do that. You stick to your plans. And it's really important not to flaunt your blessings during this time. Okay, so it's real interesting. We had the August 1st moon, and that moon time was talking about loss and gain. It was talking about us acknowledging that loss and gain, looking at where was the best place for us to get off the current ride, metaphorically speaking, and to change directions. So now our collective consciousness is now being told, okay, you got off that merry-go-round, boots on the ground, you're moving in a whole different direction. Where is this direction taking us? We are going through a state of reflecting, a state of getting spiritual downloads, changing things up, changing relationships up. Um, and with that, when you kick dust, dust comes up, and sometimes it's uncomfortable. And so now we have to deal with the uncomfortableness of changing direction. But if we're doing this in a state of grace, in a state of being elevated and spiritual in a good way, then we will stay on a good path and things will eventually work out for us. So this is just, dealing with the griminess sometimes of having to change course. So don't let it get to you. This moon time can have an association with the card the Hermit, which is actually the sun in Virgo. It represents the sun in Virgo energy. So we're being very reflective and we're also healing, and helping others in their healing or not. But we're definitely going to be helping people and thus people helping us. So just stick to your guns and make this a very high vibrational Piscean, Olokunish moon time. Pisces is the archetype of Olokun. So, make this something that is very beautiful for you and very beautiful for those that are close to you. Have a very spiritual time. This is a great time to do your full moon fill them up, as I mentioned. And I will see you all next month when the moon is full. Let's see where these 28 days will take us. And remember to know your truest self, follow the moon. If you are enjoying these moon time messages, please like and subscribe and share. And we always will take donations. Yes, we will. Okay, so you all take care.